But the end of these two wars affords us an opportunity. It allows us to refocus our intelligence and military assets and resources to other parts of the world where they are needed, where we face new challenges. This is the world you are graduating into. This is what I want to talk about today with you for a few minutes. I believe we, and particularly you, your class, has an incredible window of opportunity to lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order, because the global order is changing again, and the institutions and rules that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened, and some have to be changed. So we have to do what we do best. We have to lead. We have to lead. We have to update the global rules of the road. We have to do it in a way that maximizes benefits for everyone, because obviously it's overwhelmingly in our interest. This is not a zero-sum game. It's overwhelmingly in our interest that China prosper, that Mongolia prosper, that nations big and large, east and west. We have to level the playing field so that American companies and workers can compete in the world, that the competition is fair and it's healthy. To the first point, we came into office facing the worst financial recession since the Great Depression. We had to unfreeze the credit markets, reform the financial system, inject demand back into the economy. And while this agenda is far from complete, we've made significant progress with all of your help. The economy is now added private sector jobs every month, disappointing this month, but they nonetheless added jobs. Even so, we've still found that there's a need for an ambitious affirmative agenda. We strengthened and signed 3 free trade agreements. I know I'm referred to in the White House as the White House optimist. You know, I read that all the time. Well, it's like I'm the new guy, as my grandfather would say, like I just fell off the turnip truck yesterday. In case you haven't noticed, I've been there longer than any of them. And I hope you all haven't noticed that, but I'm afraid it's self-evident. But I'm optimistic, not out of naivete. I know the history of the journey of this country. Borders seem less real to people. Terrorist attacks feel inescapable. Fears about unrelenting migration mount as people continue to flee violence and deprivation in their homelands. In the wake of these understandable fears, we've seen a series of alarming responses. And the impulse is to hunker down, shut the gates, build walls, exit at this moment is precisely the wrong answer. This is a moment to lead boldly and recommit ourselves to common principles which remain essential to my nation and to all liberal democracies all over the world. But the greatest threat on this front springs from the distinct illiberal and external actors who equate their success with fracturing the liberal international order. This movement is principally led by Russia. Under President Putin, Russia is working with every tool available to them to, one, whittle away at the edges of the European project, test the fault lines among Western nations, and return to a politics defined by spheres of influence. And the single greatest bulwark for our transatlantic partnership is the unshakable commitment of the United States to all of our NATO allies. It is a sacred obligation we have embraced that an attack on one is an attack on all. That can never be placed in question.